Hello, friends. Can you believe it is almost August? And we have been going through online worship for over 4 months. As I stand here in front of the stained glass window of Noah's Ark, I am reminded of those 40 days and those 40 nights that probably seemed oh so long to Noah and his family. And I think we can probably relate to that feeling of weariness, of wondering, how long, O Lord, is this going to go on? If you're in that place with the pandemic right now where you are feeling weary and tiresome of what this new reality looks like, or if you're even asking the question, how long, O Lord, wondering what the future holds, I want to really encourage you to participate in worship through the month of August. It's because we're going to be talking about covenant. Now, in our weariness, it's really important to focus on the strength of what God's promises look like, and it may look like a little bit different than what we might expect. Because you see, covenant is the binding promises of God that began with Abraham and continues to this day. But we are in a long line of biblical witnesses who have felt challenged by God's covenant. Right? Just look at the Israelites. When they were in the wilderness and wandering around for 40 years, they were doubting God's presence in the midst of a challenging time. When they were in exile, they wondered if God had forgotten about them because they didn't have that foundation of land that they thought had been God's promise. Even the Jewish people who embraced the Messiah of Jesus wondered, how does this old covenant that we know relate to this new covenant with God's Son? Time and time again, faithful people have wondered in the midst of challenging times how God's covenant promises are being revealed then and there. But you see, covenant isn't just about God's promises to us. It's also about our promises to God. From the 10 Commandments all the way to Jesus' command to love your neighbor as yourself. Covenant becomes a way that we commit to God's way and to God's ways of life. It affects everything in our relationships, from the covenant of marriage to friendship to even church relationships. Covenant impacts the decisions that we make on how we spend our money or how we vote or how it is that we even treat people who might be different from us. How we are impacted by covenant, you see, isn't just about what we are given by God. It's about how we respond to God in love. And in the midst of feeling a little bit unsteady, I think this kind of grounding of covenant focuses us on not only who we are, but whose we are, and gives us strength for what is ahead. And so this month of August, we're not just going to be talking about covenant in worship. We're actually going to be living it. Because on August the 9th, we will talk about how God's covenant is fulfilled through the confirmation class of 2020, who will be confirmed that evening and join the church. On August the 16th, we will strengthen our covenant with one another in relationship as we support our student ministries with a back-to-school bash called Peace Out Summer. And then on August the 23rd, we will renew our covenant in our commitment to adult discipleship as we sign up for classes. And on August the 30th, we will be pushed into a new understanding of relationship in our covenant commitments in our community as we learn about how the Louisville Flower Mound area is responding to the COVID needs around them and how we can be a part of that. You see, covenant will be revealed in and through us, not only as we learn together, but as we live together in covenant love. Just as the rainbow reminds us of God's covenant promises that are steadfast, I believe as we walk together through this month, we too will understand the covenant love of God in a new way that gives us hope for the future. I hope you will join us this Sunday, August the 2nd, for our service of Holy Communion as we kick off the series, God's Promises, Covenant Revealed. I hope you will join us then.